Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing on the November 22nd Al-Anon readings, Encouraged to Change and a Little Time for Myself. Today is my grandson's 3rd birthday. So, happy birthday, sweet Colton. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Take a moment to look this over. The question of the day is, where do I find my value today? The passage starts off with a reference to concept 11, which is the World Service Office is composed of selected committees, executives, and staff members. So this person is saying that Al-Anon is organized, so no one person does everything. And then the person goes on to say that they used to be very proud of the fact that they took care of everything, and it kind of defined who they were. But then they realized that there really was no reward for that except being very, very tired. Today's reminder says that we are defined by who we are, not by what we do. The quote is from Courage to Change, and it says basically that we have value because we're here. Because we have value. So back to the question, where do I find my value today? I I just find I don't know, I just laugh at myself all the time. So I think that I have as much value as anybody else, and we're just all doing the best we can. I do think often about people who get up and go to work every day and how I don't do that anymore. And then I feel a little twinge of something like, oh, like maybe I should. And then I remember that I did for a long time. I've worked since for 40 years. I worked from the time I was 15 to the time I was 55. I worked for 40 years. And that's something to feel good about. But at the same respect, I still think about people who work their whole lives Some people work their whole lives because they want to. Some people work their whole lives because they need to. And then I think about not comparing myself to others, just doing what works for me. And I definitely needed to stop doing what I was doing for my own health. And so that's what I did. So I find my value today just by living and breathing and being. I have an itchy nose, excuse me. I think that we all have value just because we exist. That's kind of what the reading is saying. But at the same time, I don't think my value is any more or less than anybody else because I'm working, I'm practicing that idea of humility in my life every day. Because it's very important to me. Issues of self-worth in the past, and I think some of them still linger, some of those feelings, but I'm aware of them and I'm working on them. And I really do believe that no one's better, no one's less than. But I do think that, certain people have more influence, more of a platform, like famous people. But that doesn't make them more valuable than somebody else who doesn't have that celebrity status or that, famousness. It just means, I think it just means that they can get more done more easily because they have more contacts and so on and so forth. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but where do you find your value today? Moving on. I'm going to take a moment to look this over. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Lately, I've really been seeing the connection between the two daily readers. And this is about how Al-Anon is a spiritual program, but it's also about going from survival to the next step in recovery and not trying to do things all by ourselves. Connecting with our higher power to help calm our overwhelming fears. And going from survival to feeling like we have a sense of purpose. Saying that having a spiritual connection gives us strength and comfort. And the quote is from Francis de Sales, and it's talking about meditating for half an hour unless you don't have time. Then you need to meditate for a full hour, which is so funny Because, of course, I think I'm definitely more likely to do exactly the opposite. But that makes perfect sense. Speaking of meditation, this has nothing to do with Al-Anon, uh, but I don't know if you know the astrologist Pam Gregory. She's on YouTube. She's been around for many, 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 many years. And she's not, well, I think she's sensible and calm and positive. I was going to say she's not, like sensational or looking for, like to scare anybody. So in any case, she does a 15-minute meditation, 7 p.m. UK time on Sunday afternoon. And where I live, it's 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. And for the first, and you don't do anything. There's no Zoom. There's no website. You just meditate on your own. But you think about. She says to use the mantra, "We are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love." So that's what I did. I just breathed deep and repeated that mantra slowly for 15 minutes from 2 to 2:15. And I thought it was really nice. So that's what made me think of it, that the meditation, to know that I'm meditating with a very large group of people around the world, um, on peace and love is a very, very good feeling. So a good reminder, higher power, meditation, we don't have to do it all on our own. We have value just by being. Just give ourselves a hug. Excuse me. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.